What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, we're going to be talking about Zach LaVine and if he could be dealt to the Miami Heat or the Los Angeles Lakers. We actually had an NBA insider connect the two-time All-Star to those two organizations, so I'll be giving you guys my full thoughts on both of those coming up here in a second. But before we dive into that, guys, we're actually closing in on 10,000 subscribers here on the channel. We just need 352 more of you guys to hit that sub button. So if you guys haven't already, hit that sub button and never miss a thing around your Chicago Bulls. So an NBA insider did link Zach LaVine to the Miami Heat. And obviously, as we know, LaVine has been the main name thrown in the latest NBA trade rumors. And the Miami Heat have been the latest team to be connected to the likes of Zach LaVine. This was actually coming in from Frederick Okocha of Last Word on Sports, who just made the argument that the Miami Heat could be a team that could trade for LaVine. He said this: for a team like the Miami Heat, who have been on the brink of another championship, LaVine should be a trade target. His ability to create his own shot would alleviate some of the offensive burden away from Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. And in my opinion, the Miami Heat are actually one of the few teams that makes sense for the likes of Zach LaVine because of the Heat's culture, because of their, defensive prowess they have with Jimmy Butler, Bam. Like, they're some of the best defenders we have in the NBA. And then you also think about guys like Jaime Jaquez on that team, even a guy like Nikola Jovic. They got big body wings that can guard multiple positions, but what are they still looking for? That elite three-level scorer who can get it done at every level on the basketball court. Now, they tried to roll that out there with Tyler Herro, but he hasn't been the most efficient basketball player, specifically in pull-up jump shots. And the one thing that LaVine, I will give him credit for this, he is one of the better pull-up jump shooters in the entire NBA. But LaVine definitely had his worst year of his NBA career this past season. And, obviously injuries were the biggest reason why he only played 25 games. But when he did start the year, he just didn't have it. Only averaging 19.5 points a night, 3.9 assists. And for me, it was efficiency, which was the biggest, weakness in his game this past season. He's always been around a 40% three-point guy, but this past season only at 34.9%. And in terms of Miami, I think it makes a whole lot of sense. If you go back to their championship run against the Denver Nuggets in that NBA Finals, if they had a guy like LaVine who can create his own shot, can be very effective in the high pick and roll, which obviously the Heat love to run with Bam being the roll guy, LaVine could excel in that position. But Frederick also carried on to say this. He said, in conclusion, Zach LaVine represents a high-risk, high-reward trade target for teams looking to contend for a championship. His scoring ability, potential for a bounce-back season, and fit with several contending teams make him an asset worth pursuing. While there are concerns about his health and contract, the upside of acquiring a player of LaVine's caliber could far outweigh the risk. For a team on the brink of a title, LaVine could be the piece that puts them over the top. And I totally agree with this because if you look at the Eastern Conference right now and you're the Miami Heat, the Sixers got a whole lot better this offseason by adding Paul George. The Knicks went out and got Bridges. The Celtics are running back with that gauntlet of the team they have over there in Boston. And then if Damian Lillard gets back to who he was in his Portland Trailblazers days, all four of those teams are significantly better than Miami and also the team in their same state. The Orlando Magic, they got KCP. So what could a potential lineup look like for the Heat? I think this is a pretty nasty death lineup. And you would have three wings in LaVine, Butler, and Jaquez who can get it done on both ends of the floor. I do believe that Spoelstra and that Heat culture would get the most out of LaVine defensively, but you would also have a good scoring guard in Rozier. And then in my opinion, you have a top three defender in the league in Bam Adebayo being that anchor on that Miami Heat defense. Now, LaVine's obviously his time in Chicago is, well overran. And, I don't think the Bulls would be, even considering the possibility of running with LaVine for the entire season, especially if you look at, the development of guys like Kobe and Ayo. When he left the lineup this past season, I just think the Bulls are going to be looking to go in another direction. But, what could a trade possibly look like? Because the number one thing with LaVine is you're going to have to match salary. And why the Heat actually makes a whole lot of sense, because Tyler Herro's got a $30 million contract. Duncan Robinson gets you about $18 million. That right there matches LaVine's contract. And then I do think the Bulls would have to attach some future draft capital to just unload Zach LaVine's contract, where you would give them Portland's pick for next season, which is lottery protected, so that most likely will not convey. Then you throw in the 2 second-round picks you got in the sign and trade for DeMar DeRozan. And if the Heat are down to do this deal, you know what you do if you're the Bulls front office? You take it and run. If you can move off LaVine and get 2 knockdown shooters in Tyler Herro and Duncan Robinson, you do it. You hang up the phone fast and get that trade to the league offices, and hopefully it goes through. But, I would be a fan of the Bulls bringing in Herro and Robinson. They're elite knockdown shooters. Both of them shot 39.5% from downtown this past season, and, Herro's still a young guy. Duncan Robinson, I've always been a big fan of his game, as he is a great cutter, also coming off pin down screens where the defender chases over the top. He can just stick that hip to hip and get to the basket, and he's got good enough size where he can actually finish at a decently high level. But, you may be saying, what type of fit would the Bulls need or have for a guy like Herro and Robinson? I understand that. I think the Bulls could reroute both of those players, very similar to what the Portland Trailblazers did with Drew Holiday last year. They acquired him from the Milwaukee Bucks, and everybody was saying, well, you just got Scoot Henderson, you got Anthony Simons, you got a bunch of good young guards. Why would they keep Drew Holiday? What did they do? Then they sent him to the Boston Celtics for 2 future first-round picks, and that was a hell of a package they got in return for Damian Lillard. Obviously, I don't think the Bulls can even sniff a deal close to the caliber of the Lillard trade, but I think both these guys would have some value on the open market if the Bulls were able to get them. But hey, would you accept this deal? Give me an A for accept, or give me a D for decline down in the comments section. And also, if you're a Heat fan coming across today's show, would you do this deal to get LaVine to Miami? A for accept or D for decline? Let me know your thoughts down below. Now, if there's a second team that I think could trade for LaVine, I've been saying it all offseason. It is going to be the Los Angeles Lakers. You got the Clutch Sports connection, and I think the Lakers are going to be sneaky aggressive here in the near future. But before we dive into that, I do got to give a massive shout out to today's presenting sponsor, and that is Game Time. If you guys are looking to buy a ticket to any event here in the near future, Game Time is the #1 way to do so. And if you guys plug in Chat Sports, the promo code, terms apply, first purchase only, but plug in that promo code Chat Sports, we'll hook you guys up with $20 off. Now, Game Time is my favorite ticket purchasing app out there because of the views from your seat feature, the all-in prices, so you're not drilled by late fees once you hit that checkout button. And plus, the views from your seat feature is sweet, so you guys know you'll be getting the best view for whatever event you are trying to go to in the near future. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. All right, let's talk about the Los Angeles Lakers trading for Zach LaVine, because it was actually Frederick in the article he wrote up. He did mention the Miami Heat as the focal team that could trade for LaVine, but then he also mentioned the Clippers and the Lakers. And I want to specifically dive into the Lakers front here, as he said this: another intriguing destination could be the Los Angeles Lakers. With LeBron James nearing the twilight of his career, the Lakers need a younger star who can take over the scoring load. And with the LaVine's athleticism and scoring ability, would fit well alongside LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Austin Reeves, giving the Lakers a dynamic quartet capable of competing with the best in the league. And, maybe Rich Paul's coming across this video. Hey, Rich, come get your man. Go pair up LeBron James and Zach LaVine. You've been pretty much hinting at this for the last couple of off seasons. Even LaVine, when all those trade rumors were going around last trade deadline, we saw LaVine wearing Los Angeles hats in his press conference after games for the Chicago Bulls. And if you would pair up LaVine with LeBron and Anthony Davis, I think it would be a great fit. And, after watching the Olympics and seeing AD and Bron still play a top 10 player of the world caliber basketball, I am sure Rob Pelinka and that Lakers front office is looking at every avenue possible to improve this Lakers roster. And it gets me to this: I think the Lakers need to make a move. Like, you are not just going to run back the same team that got you beat in 4 games this past playoffs against the Denver Nuggets. You need that scoring guard. You need that 3-level scorer, and LaVine is the definition of that. And I understand his contract. I understand his red flags of not being the elite defender that his athletic ability gives him the chance to do so. But if you pair him up with Anthony Davis, that would pretty much mask all of his defensive inefficiencies here. And listen, both these guys are still playing fantastic basketball. And I think the fact that LeBron, has turned himself into a pretty knockdown three-point shooter, it would be interesting to see if he's able to maintain that 41% three-point field goal percentage. But, I mean, LeBron, even in the Olympics, he looked great, man. And there's a big reason why he won MVP of that entire tournament. And then Anthony Davis, he also impressed me every single game watching Team USA play. I think the Lakers are going to get super aggressive here in the near future, and I think LaVine would just be a perfect fit with what the Lakers are trying to do. And I actually think the backcourt of Reeves and LaVine would actually be a better fit than most common NBA fans think. I think we need to see those two out there on the basketball court of Reeves and LaVine. They necessarily play the game in similar styles, but they can both play off ball. They're both elite catch and shoot guys. I could see this being a massive move that the Lakers, end up making here in the near future. But you guys let me know. What say you on this? Where will Zach LaVine play next season? Is it the Bulls? Is it the Heat? Or maybe it's the Los Angeles Lakers? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. Now, if you guys also want to give me a follow on Twitter, that's the handle right there, @PatSieps. If you guys do so, I'll give you a follow right back. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, go Bulls.